Kingston Lake State Forest Campground is located near Pictured Rocks in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. It's about a 20-mile drive south of Grand Marais. The campground itself is situated on a peninsula that sticks out into Kingston Lake. When you first enter the campground, you go past your State Forest Campground sign, and then you turn right away into a boat launch area where you can launch a boat onto Kingston Lake, but keep in mind that this area was once popular for logging, and there are several stumps just under the surface of the water out in the lake, so you want to be careful with your motor as you go through the water, and keep it up high or don't use a motor at all and enjoy this as a paddle sport lake. The lake is mostly surrounded by trees, which helps keep it protected from the wind, and most days you'll find that the water is fairly calm and easy to paddle. We're going to work our way through the campground and check out the sites. And the first site here that's not being used is campsite number 2. The campsites here are not enormous. You definitely could not back a large trailer or fifth wheel into these sites. They're more designated for small camper use and probably some tent use. What's interesting about site number 2 is you have the sign for the Fox River Pathway right across from that campsite, and the Fox River Pathway will take you north to Lake Superior, or you can go 27 miles to the south and you can go to the Seney Wildlife Refuge. I would definitely recommend taking the trip to the north if you're just day hiking, because Lake Superior is only 4 miles away. I am parked in campsite number 4, and since this is a peninsula, most of these campsites are on the water. However, it's not like you have a beach where you can go swimming in. It's more suited for casting and fishing or launching a kayak or a canoe. You can see you have your typical State Forest campground outhouses, and they happen to be right by campsite number 5. Campsite number 6 has some people occupying it. However, it's one of the deeper campsites that might be more suitable for a large trailer. Here we have our hand pump water, and we're going to try to get some water out of this. I've recently been to several campgrounds where the water spigot was broken. So this one is not broken. However, the water is a nice rusty color. Keep that in mind. You might want to pack your own water into this campground. Here's an informational billboard. Lots of information. Probably can't read it, but now you can see that it's there. And here is the State Forest Campground billboard with your typical information. And it does state that we have 16 campsites here, if I didn't count and show all 16. Several different cans for throwing away your garbage. And there's nothing on them preventing bears from getting into them, so I'm going to assume bears are not an issue out here on the peninsula. There's one of the bigger rigs that I've seen in this campground, and it is in one of the larger sites. The sites are non-reservable. They are first come, first served basis, so keep that in mind when you do drive up here. The couple of large sites that do exist may be taken by another camper. I like this little site because it was a nice walk-in area here, a little more remote than the other sites, and you do have a nicer view of the water. And somebody left some flowers that they picked right up here on the picnic table for the next camper. A nice gesture. Here we have campsite number 9. This is perhaps one of the biggest sites that I did see. It's nice and deep, kind of turns off in both directions. Plenty big enough for a large trailer, several little tents, or a couple pop-up campers if you're traveling with a group. Overall, a really nice campground.